What's up, folks? Welcome back to Trump City Heavyweights Podcast, brought to you by Grade 8 Sports Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Merrill. Josh, what is going on?
What's up, Mac? I'm alive from the man cave. It's a victory man cave. And before we get started, I just want to get something off my chest real quick, per the usual. Uh, Cincinnati Bengals fans, this is why people strongly dislike you, because your arrogance is just unwarranted, and no one can understand why you have it. Your fan base has wore plastic bag or brown bags over your head longer than you've been successful. Uh, Immediately on Facebook before Ravens fans were even commenting, you guys were already saying, "Oh, congrats, you beat our second string." And then the first game, you guys said, "Oh, Joe was hurt or whatever." Like, shut the fuck up. You lost. Did we say that when we lost you guys in the playoffs and you ran your mouth with Huntley? When we beat ourselves, in all reality, if we didn't beat ourselves, we probably win that game by 7, maybe even 10. We should have beat you with Huntley. We should have beat you the week before with Huntley last year. You guys have not played against us well 4 games in a row. After that time, you lit us up. Burrow lit us up 30-something or whatever it was when he torched us that second half. We have played you tough. So fuck off. We won. You lost. Your season's done. Congratulations. If Joe Flacco signs in Cleveland or there, it's a fucking travesty.
Well, I love that you started off the show with the feisty monologue. This was a welcome win for the Ravens. I was so happy that we pulled out the victory in dominant fashion. I don't care who was playing quarterback. Like you said, injuries are a part of the game. Their backup quarterback looked lost, though. He looked like he had no idea what was going on.
We
And
usually have bad luck
uh,
when backups come in, man. We've been
it,
beat and torched
it,
quite a few times in this franchise's history with backups. So I always get nervous. I don't want this. I didn't want him to go out. That scares me to death when the backup comes in. Motherfucker came out on a
yeah.
play, hit a 25-yard play action
One of
pass.
the
I was like,
more
oh shit.
one of the yeah. One of the more prominent storylines from this game is the fact that we lost Mark Andrews for the remainder of the regular season. What was
You
feared
plead
to
your case,
be
sir, and then
a
I'm gonna plead mine.
it's fine, that's fine. I'm not as what is, how do I want to put it? I'm not as adamant about this as other people may be, and the drop tackle or the hip tackle, however you want to call it, it's a legal tackle by all rules and definitions. It's a legal hit, so you can't get mad at anybody for doing it because it's not a foul. Now, it's a tackle that a player can't really protect themselves from. In particular, when a bigger defender does it, I'm not saying that they need to outlaw it. I think it's going to be outlawed. I'm not saying that it should be. It's what ruined Mark Andrews' season, and I think it's not necessarily the tackle itself. I think it's who did it more so than anything else. Because Logan Wilson, for the better part of the last 2 seasons, has notably tried to hurt or appeared to try to hurt offensive ball carriers when he tackles them. I've played football. I never played at the college or the pro level, but I played football in Pee Wee. I played football in middle school. I played football in high school. Josh, you played football as well, and most of our listeners have played some form of football. The gator roll at the end of a tackle is not coached by any good coach. It when you trap somebody's lower extremities and then you gator roll with all your force and you're twisting ankles and ligaments, that's intent to injure. So I think it has more to do with the fact that it was Logan Wilson and not as much of a fact of what the tackle was. Is it unfortunate that Mark Andrews got hurt? Absolutely, yes, it is 100%. Um, but at the same time, these guys are playing in a game now where they've literally made the strike zone for hitting a defender from the thighs to the numbers, and it's they're outlawing the physicality of the game. But like you pointed out in one of our text messages the other day, Josh, that uh, if he doesn't make that kind of tackle on Andrews, it's a touchdown. And the whole object of being a defender is to prevent the touchdown. So do I do I agree with it getting outlawed? Kinda, but do I think it's going to get outlawed next year? But people crying about the tackle itself, it's not. That's not my sticking point. It's the fact that Logan Wilson did that to Andrews. He attempted to hurt Lamar Jackson, and he, from all accounts, from depending on what angle you look at it, he tried to hurt Odell on that tackle by trapping his arms under him and driving him into the ground, um, which is a penalty if you hit the quarterback that way. Now he tried to choke slam and body slam Odell in the first game in Cincinnati, and he did the gator roll on a couple of our running backs in the first game as well. So this seems like a trend with 55 as opposed to, oh, it needs to be outlawed completely from the NFL.
Listen, man, I agree. I actually I was prepared to have a fight here, but I kind of agree with a lot of what you said. So I'm going to direct this more towards the other people who are screaming. Look, I hate the dude too. Do I think he's a dirty player? I do. Uh, do I think that's unfortunate what happened to Andrews? I do. But the defenders are already at such a disadvantage. They don't know where the guy's going. They can't touch him at their 5 yards. You know, they can't hand fight anymore without him throwing a flag. To me, they have watered the game down. They've taken away kickoffs. Like, so if you take away that, it's just your defenders at another disadvantage, and they can't make the play because, like I said, if he doesn't tackle that way, now do I think he had to roll his ankle kind of how he did? No, I don't. I don't know if he necessarily did that on purpose or what, but I do think he was just trying to make a play. Um, he is a dirty player, and I don't like him. Now, I don't like the hit on Beckham. I thought that was kind of unnecessary. But I'm against taking more rules out of the game. I mean, it wasn't that many years ago. ESPN used to have big hits of the week, you know, and it was, and we enjoyed watching people get nailed. You got to remind people it is still football. People get hurt. People are going to break their legs. We're going to lose star. It's part of the game. I mean, the Bengals lost franchise, you know, record paying quarterback for the rest of the season. Their season is pretty much in the toilet.
It,
Uh,
it, yeah, it is. You're absolutely
so
right.
I understand. I understand. I understand. No one wants to see anyone get hurt. I didn't want to see Burrow get hurt as much as I don't like him or the team he plays for. But like I said, you can't keep taking everything away from the defense. I mean, you might as well just put them in flags. They can't hit the quarterback. They can't hit the quarterback low. They can't drive the quarterback into the ground. Like I already went over what they can't do to the receivers. They can't touch them at their 5 yards. They can't have a good hand fight, let them play corner versus wide receiver like we used to be able to watch. They can't do anything like that. The safety can't crack people like they used to back in the day. You know, it is football and everyone knows the stakes. Unfortunately, things like this happen. It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah,
It sucks. It sucks, but it happens. You can't keep taking things away from the defender. The game's already watered down. Like I said, we don't even have kickoffs anymore. Remember when we used to have like kickoff? They used to have the best kickoff returns of the week and shit on ESPN with Chris Boomer, whatever it is, Boomer. You
yeah,
know,
Chris Berman. Yeah,
remember like we don't have none of that stuff anymore, and I think it's sad that people keep wanting more taken out. Like it is football. It's a
yeah.
violent sport. It's a
It's a
violent
collision.
collision sport.
It's a
That's why,
violent
like
collision
Patrick
sport.
Queen
Yeah,
said,
sport.
that's why they got all this shit on. That's why they got pads. That's why they got those shirts underneath their pads with the shock absorbers on it. That's why they got all that shit.
I want to touch on something that you said, in your response, and I wasn't saying it in terms of the for argument's sake, because in the spirit of discussion, my brother is adamantly against that in our group chat. and he's been adamant vocally on Facebook statuses. Um, I more had the problem with Logan Wilson doing it. Any other player on the defense could have done that, and I'd have been upset that I
And
wouldn't
I
have
do
been.
understand that. I do
Yeah,
understand that.
I
But
would have
that's
been.
not what your brother was wording. Your brother was wording it like
Yeah,
just take it out on play. If you take it out altogether, then I mean, hey, someone explain how else could he have got Andrews down without
he
Andrews
would.
scoring?
Andrews would have scored, or at least
He would
got
have
down to
walked
like
in
the
the one.
2 or 3
Yeah,
yards. Right.
yeah, that's what I mean. He was getting in. Uh, he,
The
but
thing is with the Bengals though,
and if he
like
hits him straight in his back, he's probably giving him the momentum and pushing him in.
correct. I will say this: the Cincinnati Bengals, like you said in your opening monologue, which was fantastic, by the way, buddy. You
Thank you, kid.
you mentioned that the Bengals are just you know the type of organization that finds no fault in that in the sense that their fan base and their fans are just a bunch of crybabies, which they are. Their arrogance is in abundance without ever
And they've
winning.
never won a
They
effing
never.
thing. Like you've never won shit besides division titles
If
and
I'm a
AFC
Ben,
championships. You've
if
never won the big game. You have
if
no
I
clue what it's like.
if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I am pissed off right now because the there's
They
it,
knew the dude was hurt and they sent
they
them out there
knew it. They
because they
knew it,
had
and
to have this game. They
they
had to have it.
posted a photo and a video of him in a soft air cast and deleted it,
Oh yeah, I
and
hope they
people
lose a draft pick.
screenshot it. You
Yeah,
know, a
I hope they lose a draft pick.
draft pick or money or whatever. I'm because now, as much as I don't like Joe Burrow, he is a premier quarterback in today's NFL. He is one of the faces of the league. He's in commercials. He's relatable to the next generation of players coming up because he's got the cool factor, the it factor, whatever you want to call it. My problem is now you send him out there with a bum wrist and a thumb injury, and you against the number one pass rushing defense in the league, who is out for blood because this is a rivalry game. It's an AFC North showdown. It's on prime time Thursday night football, which I despise it. I detest it.
Yeah,
However
I
you want
mean
to put
this
it.
game should have been an awesome game, and ratings. I mean it fell off. The Ravens just ended up torching them. It was injuries.
It
It was
did.
bad.
It
Thursday
did.
night it just doesn't work. They're never going to stop it though. They're not. It's a money thing.
It's a money grab.
So yeah, at
But
least make it a Friday night. Give them another day of rest. That might help
now,
make the games better.
now the Cincinnati Bengals are essentially done for the year. They're 5-5. They're
Oh yeah, they're
without
cooked.
Joe Burrow.
They're
And
cooked.
you can tell the frustration. Jamar Chase made it abundantly clear last night that, or Thursday night, that he's pissed. I mean, I would be too. You could tell when Burrow got hurt and went to the locker room, they lost their will to keep playing football. And outside of a garbage time touchdown, that's a 3 touchdown victory for the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I want to start talking about our guys. I know we kind of spent the first 15 minutes talking about just the semantics of the game. Offensively, I was a little disappointed that they didn't feed Keaton as much as I wanted them to. Partly because he's on a couple of my fantasy teams, but I just wanted to see the kid have another spectacular game. He did make some big plays, but for the most part, the Bengals figured out how to stop him. At least
Oh yeah.
you know they got a fast defense, and um,
Yeah, they
Gus
were
had a
not letting him get around the corner.
yeah
They were. It was not happening.
Gus had another really good game. Lamar had a very good game. He stepped back up. He played mistake free football once again. No fumbles, no interceptions. He
He
was
played
hitting.
hurt, is what I liked. We've never
Yeah,
seen that from him. He
yes.
toughed it out. That's what
Look,
I like to
if
see.
this is 2022, Huntley
Was
plays the
out of
rest
the
of that
game.
game.
Yes,
He
100%.
he went he went in that tent. He probably got a cortisone shot or something in his ankle or some type of treatment, and he came back out and he continued to play. He continued to run,
He did.
and he
I think
looked
they ran
good.
him a little too much for my liking, but
Yeah, I cringe like you say it all the time. I cringe when he runs
me
because he's
too.
now he's now a $260 million running quarterback, which you know th- he's proving this season that he just needed the offense that was going to work for him. in the passing game. He's making his reads. He's making his check downs. He found, I believe, 6 or 7 different pass catchers. Charlie Kohler got involved. Isaiah likely got involved after Mark Andrews went down. Um, Nelson Aguilar got involved. Bateman had a touchdown. Odell Beckham had his first 100-yard game in almost 2 years. Um, it's just one of those situations where now, as much as I love Mark Andrews, Josh, I love him. I love him to death. We all love Andrews. He is one of the best players on the Ravens. But now you get to see Lamar without his security blanket in this offense. Are we going to see Kohler step up? Are you going to see Likely step up? Does this mean Odell becomes the number 2 target instead of number 3? Does Bateman step up? So now there's interesting possibilities because everybody's playing sound football.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I listen. It sucks and it's terrible and it breaks my heart, but it does not bother me as bad as it would have maybe last year or the year before. I was like, oh fuck, the season's over. Because Lamar's been finding, like you just said, you just alluded to it, other weapons. He's been finding guys all over the field. We have playmakers now. Despite what the stupid ass Jason Lockenfora says, I do believe in these receivers. I think Aguilar chips in extremely well. I think Odell's just getting his feet under him. I think that if Bateman can stay healthy and keep stacking practices, he's only going to get better. Zay Flowers is only going to get better. So I think we're going to be okay, man. Look, likely this is your chance to show what you can do. Charlie Kohler, this is your chance to show what you can do. I don't think one guy can replace him, so I don't think there's any sense in speaking on that. It's going to
Yeah,
take those two guys and maybe a third guy they find somewhere else. I don't know.
and
To try to put a dent on what Andrews provided.
and this game, Zay Flowers showed what he is capable of doing. It was called back for a phantom holding call, which I still believe was a terrible holding
Oh,
call.
it's fucking horrible. It
Yeah,
was horrible.
it was a horrible holding call.
Yeah.
But getting him in space with people in front of him, that dude is electric. He
Yes,
is
he's fast.
he is fast as hell, and I love the fact that he showed that he was able to to make moves in the open field and get downfield, and nobody's catching him. And if you noticed on that run, Keaton Mitchell caught up to him and outran him.
Yeah,
If your running back that's blocking for you gets downfield faster than you, and he can provide blocking in the meantime, it's crazy. This offense is the fastest offense I've ever seen the Ravens have. This is
absolutely.
this is faster than the 2019 squad,
Oh,
and
absolutely by far.
you, I think our slowest wide receiver might be Odell Beckham, and that's a 31-year-old Odell Beckham coming off of 2 leg injuries. It's it's
Absolutely.
it's insane to watch, but I'm not going to say I told you so yet because that to the listeners and to you, you know what I'm saying. But Odell is showing his worth. He he had 4 catches for 116 yards
It's a hell of a game.
on 22 snaps.
Yeah.
He played 22 offensive possessions. That's
Yeah, I
it.
think they're being smart
So
with him. I like how they're not trying to overbook
yeah,
him, man. There's no
yeah,
need
and
for that. Well, like I said, we signed him for December and January.
yeah,
We
this
signed
is
him for the playoffs. We did not sign him for the regular season. I don't care what nobody says. We gotta be careful with Odell.
we do, and I think the coaching staff is utilizing him properly. If he goes into Los Angeles next Sunday night and has another 100-yard game or an 80-yard game and a touchdown, we need to
And
keep building his
he's
confidence.
probably gonna be motivated this game. LA
Yeah,
didn't re-sign him, and they said they
I
wanted to
mean,
and never did.
yeah, we're playing the Chargers. The Rams come to us the following week, I believe, after the bye.
Sorry,
But
folks.
it's all. Hey, but he's going back to L.A. That
Yeah,
he's in that stadium, the last stadium where he had a chance to shine. And the offensive line looked rather, you know, gelled, so to speak. McCary is struggling at tackle. He just struggles with fast pass rushers He struggled against Miles Garrett. He struggled against Trey Hendrickson. But I'll say this: when they gave him help with Patrick Ricard and Charlie Kohler, probably what they need to do moving forward, just to kind of make up for his deficiencies. But the offensive line played a hell of a game. Zeitler played a good game. Linderbaum played a good game. When Morgan Moses is healthy, he's fantastic in the run game. He's a little susceptible in pass pro, but I'll take a healthy Morgan Moses, over there road grading. Um, Ricard is Ricard made a fantastic block on Trey Hendrickson on Keaton Mitchell's big run, and you and I both questioned what his role on this team was going to be this year, and he is making the most of every snap that he is in the game. The dude is a great blocker. He's good in the flats for coverage, and he's great at pass protection. I'm satisfied with the offense. They played a really good game on Thursday night.
And what is this, like 5 games in a row where he scored more than 30 points, 30 and
Yes,
up?
yes, it's been 30 and up
Tie a
since.
franchise record.
Yes, this has been they scored 30 against Detroit, and they haven't scored. The last time they scored under 30 was in London, and they still scored 27, 24, something like that in London.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's
So,
27.
so switching over to the defense.
Mm. Got some things to talk about, if we're being honest.
We got a few things. First and foremost, it was a little eye opening that Broderick Washington was a healthy scratch. He got paid a 3-year extension for $17 million, and it seems like he's one of those players. And I'm not talking down because I like Broderick Washington. I think he's a very good football player, but he got paid, and then his production slipped a tiny bit. And maybe we're looking at it through a different lens because Matabike is having a career year. Always having a really good year. He's got 4 sacks the last 5 games. Jadeveon Clowney is approaching double-digit sacks. Van Noy is adding pressure and playing very well on the edge. So maybe it just looks crazy, but we're seeing more Travis Jones and Brent Urban than we are Broderick Washington, who we paid to be that guy. I do think that this team goes out and they add Ndamukong Suh. If they don't add him after this weekend, I believe they add him during the bye, because our run defense is getting gashed. As much as Michael Pierce has been playing very well this year, he shouldn't be playing the volume of snaps that he's playing, and that is hurting us in the run game. And I know you and I both do not like Jason La Canfora. He is not on the list of people that we enjoy talking about. But he is right about one thing. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen are exhausted right now. They have played almost 750 defensive snaps through 11 games. They are getting worn down. Patrick Queen looks like he's hitting a wall right now, and Roquan Smith is hurt. He's playing hurt. His shoulder's fucked up. He just looks sluggish, even though he had 21 tackles in the Browns game.
Yeah, he's about to say he ain't playing too bad.
No, he's not playing. I'm not saying they're playing bad, but the Roquan and the Patrick Queen that we saw in September and October is not the same ones that we're seeing right now. And I know wear and tear goes on for every player during the NFL season.
Yeah, I think they're just beat up. The whole team's a little beat up. You're break.
They're beat up, and I think that this bye is going to be essential. They're getting a mini bye before
they only play one game the next 23 days.
Right, one game the next 23 days. They need to rest up, and I think Harbaugh's going to take care of these guys. I truly believe that he will. But this defense is starting to show some wear and tear. I do want to say though, Brandon Stevens, another game, absolutely 100%.
He's lights out, bro.
The dude is locked down. He is locked down. Absolutely locked down cornerback. Ronald Darby, another exceptional game.
Yep.
Darby had another very, very good game. Rock Ya-Sin.
Terrible. He needs to just
Rock
go.
Ya-Sin so bad that Jalen Davis was getting reps.
Yes, yes, yeah. I don't know. He's bad, bro. He's a waste of
So
money. I don't know. I don't know what happened with him. But as soon as he gets in there, he fucks something up every time.
he does. He does. He's a flag magnet. On top of that, through what you saw from the game, without being without having to see NFL 22 all 22 yet, what was your observation with the defense?
I mean, a lot of what you just said, they do look tired, especially up the middle. They were getting gashed. They were making Dixon look like he was the man again, like it was a few years ago when he was electric. But yeah, they do look tired. They need this break, especially up the middle. Yeah, I'm not that concerned about Project Washington. I don't know what that healthy scratch was all about. I don't know if that was a discipline thing or something we don't know about. Um,
From what they were talking about on TV though, Josh, or on the radio, is that they saw him get absolutely bullied by the interior offensive line of the Browns, and that was kind of like
yeah,
a wake up call for him.
might have been. Maybe it was. Makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe they were trying to wake him up. But yeah, that's about it. The secondary looks extremely good, but the D line was getting pushed around. Pierce looks absolutely exhausted. He has no business playing as many snaps as he's playing, like you said. So yeah, we got to figure something out on the D line. But I am so. If you would have told me before the season started that we would have this many sacks, I would have never believed you. I would have bet my life that you were full of shit. So I'm enjoying it that how we're getting pressure and we're getting pressure with rushing four, and that's what we've been crying for years, and it's happening. So take
And
that, locking for you.
some another thing that we've been banging on the table for that we saw this weekend. You mentioned this. You said that you wanted to see a defense where Williams, Stone, and Hamilton are all on the field at the same time, and we saw
Yeah,
a lot of that.
yeah. And
Marcus
Williams played
Williams
well
had
with his one arm. He had a good game.
he. This has been his best game back since has been his best game since he's returned from injury. He made a
Absolutely.
couple pass breakups. He's good at baiting the quarterback and getting him to throw his way. I liked the dynamic where Hamilton was playing kind of like a joker role, kind of linebacker, safety, cornerback combo. He's now. I'm not saying that he's going to be this great. People are comparing him to Ed Reed, and it's kind of hard to compare him to Ed Reed. But does Hamilton give you a Dallas Thomas vibes?
Yeah, a little bit because he can kind of play linebacker. You can put him down low in the box, but he can also be a safety. So yeah, I never thought about that, to be honest. You just said that, but yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Because you can line him up in the slot, you can line him up as deep safety, you can line him up as a box safety, you can line him up as a defensive end to pass rush. So he is multifaceted in how he is used in this defense. He's like a positionless player. I'm happy with how the secondary has looked. I think that we're going to continue to get better. When with Marlon recovering, hopefully he's ready to go because the Los Angeles Chargers got some good wide receivers over there, Keenan Allen
Yeah, it's going
and
to be a
Austin
tough game,
Eckler
man.
out of the backfield, and Mike Williams, and it's going to be tough. I'm preparing, for a dogfight for that on Sunday Night Football, and I'm, you know, I'm satisfied with the defense. Other than them getting them pushed around a little bit in the run game, I'm okay with how things are going. So, um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I really there's really not much more to cover, buddy. We hit everything, right on the head, and
We did. One
we
of my children
you
is
know
lurking.
the older one.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
saw you over. I saw that, but yeah, Josh, we got Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football next week. We are going to try to fit in a preview show for the Chargers at some point in the first couple of days of this week. I know we got Thanksgiving coming up, and obviously we're not going to be shooting during that time. Josh, go ahead and shut it down, man.
Look, Ravens fans, we're 8-4. We very well should be
Eight,
undefeated.
eight, 8-3.
Oh yeah, we're 8-3. My bad. Sorry, 8-3. Dang, that sounds better than 8-4, don't it? Listen, we're 8-3. I think his team has the potential to go make a deep run. I'm going to say that. We just got to stay healthy. I know it sucks about injuries, but let's all remember this is football. They're essentially modern day. This is ancient Rome. They're fucking gladiators in the middle of the Roman Empire stadium thing over there. That's what's happening. They're getting paid millions of dollars. They know the risk. As sad as Mark Andrews probably is, he's all right. He's rich as fuck. He's good. He's single. You know what I mean? He's good. Uh, he's fine. He's probably in his mansion right now watching TV or something. He's fine. While we are going to work and shit. You know what I mean? So don't worry about him too much. He's all right. The Ravens have plenty of other weapons now. I believe it. We're going to be all right. Is it going to sting? Absolutely. But we're going to be all right. It's Ravens Nation. Fuck the Bengals. Let's move on to fuck the Chargers. Shut it down.